everyone, I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and welcome back to Build. The new Netflix series, Sex Education, tells the story of Otis, a socially awkward high school virgin living with his mother, who's a sex therapist. His home is filled with manuals and videos on intimacy, which leads Otis to become the reluctant resident sex expert in his high school. Today, I'm sitting down with actor Asa Butterfield to talk about his new role, but first, here's a trailer from Sex Education.
How'd that look?
Like a Satsuma.
It's monochrome.
I'll take your word for it. Do I look all right?
You look like Otis.
Was that a good or a bad thing?
Well, neither. You just look like Otis. You've never asked me about your appearance before. Is this the Maeve effect, perchance?
I hate this shirt, and I hate crowds. I hate parties. Eric, I don't want to go.
We have to go. We've been waiting our entire school lives for this.
Speak for yourself. I don't care.
Well, Maeve cares, so...
What are you doing? Eric, just be careful with...
Hey! You need to loosen up.
I don't dance.
What's the point of having all this music then?
To listen to. I sit very still, and I appreciate the music.
Everyone give it up for Asa Butterfield.
Thank you.
How you doing today?
I'm fantastic.
Thank you for joining us. I got to check out the first 2 episodes of Sex Education. It is so good. The writing is so amazing. And the topic has, I don't think, ever really been covered in this way. So I definitely suggest it. I wanted, though, it starts off, it comes in real hot. It's a sexual show.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching it at work and I was like, putting my screen down. So what drew you to this project?
Well, I think for me, I mean, I think when you do a series, any sort of series, because you're going to be potentially with those characters for a long amount of time, potentially years, if it goes for multiple seasons, you want it to be something that you are passionate about and that you can relate to, and it's a character that you enjoy being. And for me, I think the biggest thing was just the relationships with these characters. You see in that clip with me and Shooty, who plays Eric, it's like such a sweet and believable friendship, and all of the friends, and with my mum, who Gillian plays, were just fantastic, and it's funny and sweet and honest, and it was a brilliantly written story.
Let's talk about Otis. I, in the intro, described him as a socially awkward kind of high school kid. How would you describe him?
That's pretty good. He's inexperienced. He's awkward. He's very bright. His mum's a sex therapist, so he's kind of he's been brought up with all these like manuals and videos and objects in his house, which naturally has put him off the subject. But he's also a kind of expert on it through just conversations he's had with his mum and listening to his mum, who's a sex therapist. So he has all this information and all this understanding about sex, but he has no ability to do anything with it. So it's really funny kind of dynamic you've got there with this character.
Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned his mom, who's played by the incomparable Gillian Anderson. I mean, she's so good in this role. And the dynamic is so fun to watch. So what is it like getting to act with her every day and just sort of play those dynamics?
It was a lot of fun. Me and Gillian had a great time working together. I mean, we got pretty like stuck in straight away. We didn't have any rehearsal time with the two of us. So we were in there. We were like running pretty much straight away with some. I mean, we got a lot of great scenes, some quite intense ones, some very funny ones. I hadn't worked with Gillian before. I didn't know she was so hilarious. There's one particular scene where she's getting stoned with a classmate of mine, and she's like eating these crisps, and she's so good. It's very, very funny.
I love that scene. Yeah. And how much do you think that informs who Otis is? That mom who is just so bold and proud of who she is and so open, but what kind of impact does that have on Otis?
I think it's one of his kind of one of the reasons he is the way he is. I mean, there's various things, but I think that openness and his mother's confidence and her sort of her sexuality, and I think that kind of scares him. I think and scares him for like the future of what his sexual life might be like. But they do get on really well, and they have very touching moments, and they sit down and watch Julia Roberts movies together. And they've got this very sweet kind of mother and son relationship. It actually felt quite similar to me and my mum. My mum's a psychologist as well. Okay. Funnily enough, she's kind of also a therapist. And I think we really nailed that dynamic. Yeah.
You can feel it. Your chemistry with all the other leads that you get to play with a lot is so strong, including Eric, who we saw in that clip. That to me is, I think, currently one of my favorite friendships on TV. Wait till you guys see it, because it is this authentic, fun, genuine, and these are two very different young men, but they have this like common love and respect for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Shooty, who plays Eric, all of the cast bonded very quickly. But me and Shooty we hit it off immediately. We felt like old friends, and you see in there, that image there, which I love. It felt like just being on set in this school, it really felt like I was back in school with all these other guys. We were all all our mischievous sides came out, and just had a laugh.
I always wonder what life is like on a set where everybody's like under 30 pretty much, you know what I mean? Is it very different from other jobs you've had?
Is it very different? I mean, in a way, yeah. Whenever you work like for a long period of time with people, you get to know them really well and you bond. So there was a group of about 6 or 7 of us, young adults, we were in Cardiff shooting the whole thing, and as you'd expect, it sort of did eventually feel like we were at like kind of university together. Kind of, we'd all go and we'd have fun, but then we would go back to our dorms. We were staying in apartments, and it literally felt like we were kind of had this family going on. So it was great. Yeah.
That has to be so much fun. I mean, again, just watching the show, it's so much fun. So I'm sure it was like that shooting it. There's a lot of shows that tackle sex. This one, I said, does it in a really unique way. Do you think it will have an impact on people starting just kind of more candid conversations about sex?
I think so. I hope so. I think what this show does really well, it's called Sex Education, so it's got sexual themes, but it never kind of glorifies it. It's always very frank. It's always very honest and awkward, and it's never there to just be kind of sexy or kind of in your face. So I think it's important that people can watch it and see what sex really is like for teenagers, and it isn't kind of pretty. It is awkward and funny, and I think we really captured the truth of that. And so I hope people can watch it and be like, either relate to it or kind of take the pressure off them, because it's hard to have those conversations. I mean, you see it in the show. My character is trying to have that conversation with his mum, and it's not easy. No one wants to talk about that stuff, whether you're a parent or you're a kid. And where do you learn it?
Yeah, not even just parents, with their peers. I mean, what Otis does is he takes his education and he starts helping his classmates. But even then, it's awkward and he's met with some resistance, and it's just impossible for anybody to be super candid about sex. But like you said, it is called Sex Education. I feel like some people are going to watch this and feel probably better about how awkward they are about sex.
Hopefully. Yeah. Watching me will hopefully take some of the pressure off.
So you've been acting. I mean, I first saw you, maybe you were like 9 or 10. I mean, super young. So what have you learned so far in your career about just projects that you want to be a part of?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
What have I learned so far? About projects, I guess, finding just things that excite you, things that challenge you, things that you can feel passionate about. Working with like-minded people, working with people who are equally passionate, finding characters which are original or just something you haven't done before or something you haven't seen before. I mean, there's so many different things that you got to think about really when choosing roles and looking at scripts, because there's a lot of trash out there, like, to be honest, and you gotta be careful about what you do. And the projects you're a part of. And I've been really fortunate to have done some amazing things, and this included. I absolutely adored making it. Yeah.
Have you ever felt like you were only getting offered certain roles, or have you had to maybe fight to break out of certain molds that people put you in? Because I know, like, when you start acting so young, it's very easy for people to put you in certain boxes. Have you come up against that at all?
Not too much. I think I've managed to keep quite a wide spectrum of characters. As you said, I've been doing it since I was young, so I'm now doing more adult roles, more mature roles. I did a film which came out earlier this year called Journey's End. It's a World War I movie, and that was probably my first role where I felt like I wasn't like the younger actor on the set, and I was there with sort of my peers and equals as men, and that was an amazing experience, both the filming it and the film as well. I'm very proud of. So yeah, it's been quite a gradual and quite a nice natural progression for me to be able to do all sorts of things, whether it's like sci-fi. Been doing a lot of comedy recently, which I've really enjoyed, because when I was younger, I tended to do a lot of drama. I've played a lot of orphans, as depressing as that sounds. I used to think that was my thing, but apparently not.
Yeah, Boy in the Striped Pajamas was definitely not a comedy.
No.
Yeah.
No, unless you're really twisted. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So obviously you've had this long acting career, but what else do you like to kind of explore and experiment with? I think I saw on your Twitter you were playing the piano a little bit. Is music something that you're into as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things. I love acting, but what's great about it is it gives you opportunities to do other things and time to do other things. So music, I'm a big fan of music. I like playing the piano, just hanging out and jamming. My theory's not that good. I wouldn't call myself like a composer, but I love music. So that, filmmaking, I want to start making like nature documentaries. I think that'd be fun, just to go out to, like, I don't know, the Amazon with a camera and film monkeys. Who knows?
Yeah. Very specific, but I love it.
I've got a very specific monkey I want to. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I was doing some research on you, and I was looking at your name, and you have a very long, you have two middle names, but that you actually now go by Bop as your middle name.
Bop is one of my middle names.
Yeah.
And Far, which is my mum's. I have got a long name.
You do?
I do.
But I think that's cool. I have a long name too, so I always respect when
I think my mum and dad couldn't decide on what my middle name and my surname was going to be, so they tossed a coin, and I ended up with a long name. So
where did the Bop part come from?
So Bop is, when I was born, there was a comet called Hail Bop in the sky. I think it comes around every... Actually, I'm going to pull a number out my arse here, 20 years or something. So, in fact, it's just gone. Missed it. Damn. But yeah, there's a comet that I'm named after, my middle name. Hence, Bop.
Yeah. Does anybody call you that?
People have in the past.
Do you not like it?
I don't dislike it. It still comes as quite a surprise. Doesn't sound like a name, but it's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting.
So you've got Sex Education that's coming out pretty soon in January. What else are you working on, or anything that you kind of looking forward to in 2019?
2019, do some traveling, hopefully.
Where do you want to go?
To the Amazon, film monkeys.
The monkeys.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
But as well as that, go back to Japan. I'd love to go there again. Rugby World Cup is in Tokyo or Japan next year, so I want to go there. And then we'll see what the future holds. This year's been good. It's been quite busy. I just had something come out on Halloween, Slaughterhouse Rules, which was wild. Absolutely bonkers movie. You should go and check it out. And yeah, just kind of taking it as it goes. I'm having a bit of a break now, which is lovely, so I can be home and I can come and do this sort of thing. Looking forward to Christmas. Spending time with the fam. New Super Smash Bros. Comes out on Friday. Yes. So that's my weekend and the next 10 days.
Are you a big gamer?
That. I'm a big gamer.
Oh.
Yeah.
What else do you play?
A lot of Smash, Dota 2. Anyone? Crickets. Okay.
Somebody listening knows. And
Someone listening.
Yes.
Yeah. I play Magnus. Best Magnus in Europe.
That's awesome. All right, let's go to the audience for some questions really quick. Who do we have first?
Hi. What is your dream role that you're dying to play?
My dream role? Wow. What's my dream role? God, I don't know. It used to be Bond. It used to be James Bond. I mean, that still would be pretty cool. Taking anything away from that. I think I got to get a bit older and a bit grayer, even though I am kind of grey. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's still, I don't know. I don't think it is James Bond anymore. I'll have to think about it. Yeah.
I mean, with the hair, I can see you in like a really good biopic for like some badass musician. You know, like I feel
Yeah.
like you could pull off like a Bowie. You know,
Doesn't it, Andy Warhol has this sort of... does
Oh,
he have,
you could
like,
do Andy
white,
Warhol.
Like, grey hair,
I can see. Yeah, I can see that in your
I
future.
think.
Yeah, he does have,
possibly.
like whitish hair.
I don't
We'll
know.
keep thinking about
We'll
it.
keep thinking about it.
Right.
We'll
Next
bounce
question.
some ideas.
Hi. Speaking
Hey,
of your hair, I loved watching your hair journey on Instagram.
thank you.
Thank you for the update.
I'm glad you were there with me. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Does it work? I don't know. Who knows?
But I was just wondering, is it weird playing like a teenager when you're like 21? Like, isn't like I always thought that would be like odd.
No, it's not weird. I don't think. I mean, we're all kind of teenagers, really, inside. And when you're there with other people so around your same age, and you're in like a school environment, it's quite easy to just kind of get back into it. It's fun, actually. I mean, when you're teenagers, there's not actually any pressure on you, really. I mean, you got exams, but once you get like into the real world, it all goes into perspective. But no, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was weird. I mean, I'm lucky because I've got a young face, so I can play younger, and that's as much as I'd love to have a great beard. It's just not going to happen yet. So whilst I still can play like 17-year-olds, hell yeah.
Paycheck's a paycheck. Yeah, absolutely. We do have a question from Twitter. Candace
Ooh.
here wants to know, can Asa Butterfield tell us any funny anecdotes about working with Gillian Anderson on Sex Education?
Funny anecdotes. So we have, well, I say we, our characters, so this in the set, my house, has a lot of phallic objects, a lot. And there's a whole sequence where I'm hiding them. Me and Gillian bonded over this chess set of penises. So everything is a different shaped and sized penis. And we were both like completely smitten by it. We were like trying to get the best picture, like, oh no, come over there, it's the best angle. We didn't actually play a game of chess. I think we'll have to save that for season 2. Someone needs to be writing this down. That's a brilliant idea, actually. Yeah, the Dick chess set. Gillian knows what I'm talking about.
And the Dick chess set is now available on Amazon.
That's right.
And last question.
I was wondering if there's any director that you would love to work with.
There's lots of directors I'd love to work with. If I had to pick one. I'd love to work with Edgar Wright or Shane Meadows. Shane Meadows, amazing British director, has done some of my favorite movies. I mean, there's so many. Those are sort of 2 of my favorite, if I had to pick. Yeah.
That's a good start. I love it. Well, like I said, Sex Education for me was really fun. I think I have 6 more episodes left, and I can't wait to go finish
Enjoy.
them. For the rest of you, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Sex Education premieres on January 11th on Netflix. Guys, give it up for Asa Butterfield.
Thank you.